Is here, as are some of the biggest brands in the world of aviation. And they don't get much bigger than Boeing, who took center stage on day one of the Dubai Airshow here in Dubai, down at DWC, booking a $38 billion order from the host carrier Emirates, whose pavilion's just up there, clinching more deals as well with African carriers and, of course, grabbing the headlines this morning. Listen, we're here to talk about the future of aviation here in the region with Darren Hulst. He's the Vice President of Commercial Marketing, Boeing Commercial Airplanes. Darren, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Going to get on to projections shortly, but first up, we've got to do the elephant in the room. What a day to open up the air show this year. A good day for Boeing yesterday.
It was a great day. It was a great day to open and just celebrate, I think, the success that aviation has had in this region and how big of a contribution Emirates has made to just the economy of Dubai. And the commitment to 65 more 777Xs is just a great testament to the airplane, but also the airline.
Vote of confidence from Emirates, that goes without saying. Vote of confidence from the region as well in Boeing?
Absolutely. I think if you look at the region here, the fundamentals that have driven demand for air travel just make sense in the Middle East. Within an 8-hour flight of 70% of the global economic growth in the next 20 years, 80% of the world's population. This is a wide-body market because of the connectivity it offers this region and, frankly, the world.
I love that prediction that you guys have come out with. The Middle East set to become the world's wide-body aviation powerhouse. Sure. I mean, you guys are forecasting nearly 3,000 new aircraft delivered to the region by 2044. Put that into perspective for us.
Okay, let's start with looking backwards. Over the last 20 years, the Middle East has, in terms of traffic to and from and within the region, has grown by a factor of 6. The rest of the world has grown less than half that fast. So this is the growth region, and from a demand perspective, we have not just connecting traffic, which is a hallmark of the region, but you also have a growing business travel demand. Dubai is a destination. The region is a destination, not just for business, but for leisure and frankly, even for religious and pilgrimage purposes. It has everything you need for growth.
Aviation, a global business, a global industry, Boeing very much at the heart of it. We can often get very sort of bogged down in just how good the industry is here at the moment, just how positive it is. But I mean, in terms of growth trajectory, how important is the Middle East or the GCC region?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you look at the future, we see this region's fleet more than doubling in size. Oof. So we're talking about 3,000 airplanes. That'll help the region's airlines double their fleet and more in terms of capacity, in terms of airplanes, and ultimately that connectivity that the economy needs to grow. And so I think that's a great number to think about. But also, in terms of the share of the global fleet, the Middle East is going to be more than 10% of the global fleet over the next 20 years. And again, a huge contributor to that connectivity.
Again, let's just try and get down to the whys on this one, because I'm trying to work out why there is more demand here in the Middle East than there is in other markets around the world.
Well, geography is something you can't invent, right? And being here is such a crossroads. When you think about the things I mentioned, when you think about the proximity to so many people, an emerging middle class, and then emerging markets and emerging economies, whether it's Africa, whether it's South Asia, whether it's Southeast Asia, this is the place where people can connect. So you don't just need that local demand. You can also benefit from the connectivity to advanced economies, whether it's what traditional airplanes can fly or whether our long-haul aircraft can take you 16, 18 hours to cross the globe. And so that, I think, is the accelerator for this region.
And does passenger traffic patterns and passenger demand sort of feed into that? Because a lot of people think, okay, Boeing get the planes to the airlines and then it's their job to get passengers on. But do you sort of take into effect the sort of changing, or the winds, the waves of what passengers want these days?
I think that is something we're intently focused on, because as a capital-intensive industry, we have to think ahead, because we can't just change an airplane today or tomorrow. We have to think about where the market is headed, where the demands are headed. And so I think our key is providing versatility to our customers. 20 years ago, who would have thought of high-speed internet like Starlink on the airplane? Now that is the buzzword for people who travel. And so it's passenger comfort, it's connectivity, it's how far can you fly and how efficient can you do that with the technology that are available with the state-of-the-art airplanes that are out there.
Look, it's good for aviation, it's good for the aviation economy here
Yep.
in the region, especially if we're thinking about regional fleet nearly doubling,
Yep.
as you say, in this time. What's it mean for economic diversification, though? Because I suppose that's one thing people don't account for is the job creation
Yes.
and the other opportunities.
There's a massive multiplier effect, and I think the beauty or the vision that we've seen in Dubai over the last 40 years is proof point of this, maybe the best proof point you can see globally, which is if you invest in aviation and you connect economies, you become a magnet for headquarters from a corporate perspective, from a destination perspective, and that multiplies itself to the point where the billions that you spend on airplanes turns into hundreds of billions in economic benefit, jobs, and ultimately, what we see today in the modern Dubai skyline.
And with those deliveries, do you expect more air routes to be coming out? I mean, we're not strangers to sort of opening up new air routes from here. Is there a potential for more as well moving forward?
Absolutely. I'll look back just to help answer that question. Over the last 25 years around the world, airlines have added 13,000 new routes. Think about with economic growth, with the population and the way people need and want to connect and the way trade will connect, how many more thousands of city pairs will be connected with this demand increase, in addition to the fact that airplanes coming out today, the airplanes we're delivering to Emirates and others in the region, 20 to 30% more efficient than the airplanes they replace.
Darren, congratulations again on that order yesterday. I'm assuming, I'm not going to push too much, but more of the same for the next few days?
I think we're optimistic about what maybe transpires, but ultimately I think in the bigger picture, this has been an incredible year in terms of just a testimony for the demand for airplanes, for Boeing airplanes, and how they can help continue to benefit commercial aviation around the world, and especially here in this region.
Really appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks
I know
for
you're
having
a
me.
busy man, so really appreciate you giving up a bit of your time this morning. Darren Hulst there, the Vice President Commercial Marketing for Boeing Commercial Airplanes, live here on the Business Breakfast, Dubai I 103.8.